How are you? Well, today I want to go over the results of the assessment that you did last week, the Neo Personality Inventory 3. And like I was telling you last time, this inventory measures 5 domains of factors of personality and 6 more specific traits of factors within each domain. All the responses that you gave to the statements about your thoughts and your feelings and your goals were compared to those of other people your age to give a description of your personality. So this is not an intelligence test or an ability test, and it's not intended to diagnose any psychiatric disorders, but it will give you some idea about what makes you unique in ways that you think, in ways that you feel, and in ways that you interact with others, which is what some of our concerns that we were talking about in our past 2 sessions. So the summary I'm gonna give you, or we're gonna look at the scores and we're gonna look at what it means, is intended to give you just a general idea of how your personality may be described. Okay, so the first domain is the end domain. All the questions that you answer about that. Let me explain to you first what the end domain does. So in this domain is what reflects is different ways that you react emotionally to distressing circumstances. Okay, obviously they will go with high scores and low scores. Low scores are resilient, rarely experiencing negative emotions, and high scores on this domain often have a strong emotional reaction. The person has strong emotional reactions. Overall, your responses suggest that you are very high on this factor. Specifically, and like you were talking to me last time, you are anxious. You are apprehensive, or you feel apprehensive at times, and you are prone to worry. You will often feel frustrated, irritable sometimes, and angry at others, and you're prone to feeling sad and lonely. You don't necessarily like to be with strangers. I mean, that's a problem for you, but you may be embarrassed or shy in a crowd, and you report being poor at controlling your impulses and desires and unable to handle stress well. Okay, I'm gonna go through the 5 and then we're gonna come back to this one. Okay, so because my goal for you having all these results, it's you get an idea of who you are, like we were discussing, that you understand what is going on with your feelings, with your thoughts, and then we can together take bits and pieces of what you want to start working on first, to give some solutions to your feelings. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the E domain is your extroversions. We want to see, basically this measures traits related to energy, enthusiasm, especially when dealing with people. Low scores are serious and introverted, and high scores are outgoing extroverts. Your total score puts you in the very low range on this factor. You are somewhat formal and distant in your relationships with others, and you rarely enjoy large and noisy crowds or parties, which it goes with our first domain also. You're reluctant to assert yourself and prefer to stay in the background in meetings or group discussions. Like in school, you might want to sit on the back, by the corner. You have a low level of energy and prefer a low, slow and a slow and steady pace. So excitement, stimulations, and thrills have a little appeal to you, and you're less prone to experience feelings of joy and happiness. Maybe. The next domain is the O domain. The O domain means your openness. How open are you? This measures responses to various kinds of experiences. Low scores are down to earth and conventional. They prefer the familiar and tried and true way. High scores are imaginative and open-minded. Your score was it was kind of low, but at the same time, your responses suggest that you are generally close. But I want to say that you are very imaginative, also, because you consider daydreaming and fantasy like a big part of your life, and your imagination is not limited. You are seldom responsive to beauty, as found in music, art, poetry, or nature, but your feelings and emotional reactions are very intense in these regards. You not necessarily enjoy new activities and don't really look for variety of activities in your life. You're not very interested in intellectual pursuits, like I will say, would you like schoolwork, and you don't really express yourself much in your social, political, and moral beliefs. Next, we're gonna go on the A domain. The A domain is your agreeable. How agreeable are you? So this domain is concerned with styles of interpersonal interactions, and low scorers are hard-headed and competitive. High scores are compassionate and cooperative. Across, all the facets in this domain, all the all the statements that you answer, you describe yourself as being generally average on this domain. So you have moderate trust in others, but you're not gullible. Recognize that people can sometimes be deceptive. You're willing at times to flatter or trick people into doing what you want, and tend to put your needs and interests before others. You hold your own in conflicts with others, but you are also willing to forgive and to forget. You're humble, unassuming, and comfortable talking about your achievements. Compared to other people, you are hard-headed and tough-minded, and your social and political attitudes reflect your realism. Now we're gonna go to the C domain, which the C domain is conscientiousness. Sorry. All right. So on this domain describes differences in motivation and persistence. So low scorers are easygoing and are not inclined to make plans or schedules, while high scores are conscientious. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time with this word, and well organized. I gotta laugh at you, that's good. So compared to other people your age, your score falls in the average range. On this factor, you are sometimes inefficient and unprepared, and have not developed your skills and talents fully. Like anybody, you can be sloppy and disorganized at times, but you are dependable and reliable, and you have aspirations that may be considered I don't want to say lazy, but that's the right word to use. I bet you sometimes you find it difficult to make yourself to do what you should do and want to quit, but you are reasonably cautious and generally think things through before you act in. So this is the results of their personality, and the reason why I wanted to do it with you is so that we can take bits and pieces of this and go ahead and start going deeply into some of the topics that you might be interested in bringing to our sessions with the therapy. The end domain, that is the one that I am a little more concerned with you, because there are things that you already have told me within your background, within school, within your home. And I know that you're having panic attacks sometimes, and your anxiety goes as far as having panic attacks. So I kind of want to, if you agree, or I would like to go deeper into these feelings of anxiety, apprehension, and worry, and maybe explore what is causing it, what are the triggers that you're experiencing that make you feel that way. But I want you to let me know what you think about the results. So you think, can you see, you say you weren't like necessarily, you don't know who you are yet, and you're 14 years old, you're going through changes. I want to know if after we did this assessment, you think, well, yeah, I think this is something that I see on my life. No, this wasn't very, very true. What do you think about it?
I guess it's all kind of right, really.
Okay, and would you like to start working on the end domain?
Yeah, I would.
And explore your anxiety and your panic attacks. I want to explain to you just one more thing about what we're doing here, and I want to bring it to you so you can see these items of validity. Some of the questions that you answer yes makes this test within the normal limits of all the questions that you answer. And no, and also give me a second, computer's so very slow.
Yeah,
And
I get it.
also, yeah, well, also wanting you to know that whenever you're coming to my sessions, well, I'll go get you from whatever class you're in at the time that we're supposed to meet. You have a safe space in the office. Whatever you're telling me is I'm not judgmental. I mean, I don't judge what you're saying. You can feel free to pour your heart out. It's a complete safe space for you. And if in our next session next week, we'll start working on this. I want to leave you a couple things of homework. Just think about what we talked what the assessment told you, basically. And we'll start with the N, with the N domain, the anxiety and the panic attacks. Try to in this week kind of monitor yourself and see if you're feeling that you are anxious. Try to look back and ask yourself, why do I feel this way? And then maybe you can find that, I don't know, like your kitty, to give an example, I mean, your kitty was crying a lot, or I want you to start finding triggers for the anxiety. You can start with that as homework, and maybe tell me how many times in the week you felt like you were going to have a panic attack. And obviously, I want you to think about the meaning of these results. What does it mean to you? What we just discovered in this personality test. You said that, yeah, you think that most likely you felt like, yeah, you were represented in the results, but what does it mean to you? Okay, not right now, you don't have to tell me right now, but for our next session. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, I think you have any questions, any concerns?
Not really.
And I guess I will see you next time. And thank you for taking the time to be here with me going through the results. Sometimes results can be overwhelming. I don't mean in any way overwhelm you, but I mean, now you have the whole picture, and now we're going to go domain by domain, and obviously whatever you feel that you want to explore first. Like if you change your mind about the end domain, about the anxiety, if you see that you want to talk about something different, this time is for you. Okay?
Okay.
All right. I'll see you next week.
I'll see you next week.
Have a good one.
You too.